This is literally the most ridiculous piece of gear that I own. So much so that I kind of question its very existence, while at the same time, I absolutely love it. Is it gas? Yes. But before you pass judgment on this thing, hear me out. By the way, I should point out, Zoom did send me this, not for a review, but for something else I'm planning. They had no idea I was going to do this, so take that for what it is. Now, this is the H5, one of, if not my favorite piece of gear, at least up till today. The H stands for handy.
Women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy.
And frankly, it's one of the most perfect purchases a studio can make because it completely fulfills the promise it makes. It's a handy recorder to have, and it's the literal definition of portable. And all H-series releases have lived up to this promise and so much more. It has always been the standard for solo fieldwork for reporters or really anyone that needed to get audio on the run without anything more than just this. And with the H5 and H6 varieties, Zoom even expanded it with replaceable capsules, something that just made this thing all the more customizable and, frankly, useful. And if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of how much these things can do, it'll shock you. Go through the massive user guide and try not to be surprised at the variety of uses for this thing. It's a veritable studio in your pocket. And it even makes a fantastic mic in a pinch, as I pointed out up here. But then, well, the Zoom H8 dropped. An 8-track recorder in kind of the palm of your hand. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. It is Zoom plastic, but not quite the H-series plastic that you might be used to. This is more like the plastic on the P4. In case you're wondering, no, I would not drop this thing. Other than that, though, pretty decent build on it. The cartridge changer up top feels nice and firm, and all the buttons and knobs, they feel nice. No real give to anything. I really like that they have cable locks on this now. No chance of the XLR slipping out. And the touchscreen, touchscreen is fabulous. Remember, I'm upgrading from an H5, not an H6, so that functionality is brilliant, and it's going to speed up my workflow so much. Lots to discover in the menus, by the way. As always, these things are feature-packed. And one nice feature here, the capsule swap area can be sealed off with this little cap. Don't worry. Can't lose this one, as you can store it on the back of the unit. And lastly, mic 1 through 4 have a pad switch, and the multi-jacks have a high Z switch. So the Zoom H8 is a 24-bit 96 kilohertz interface. It has 12 simultaneous tracks for recording. The standard comes with 6 XLR inputs, 2 of which are combo jacks for 1/4-inch jacks. It records in broadcast wave, and MP3, takes 4 batteries, or it can be plugged in, and it comes with an onboard compressor, limiter, and low-cut filter. Oh, and I should point out, the USB connection is USB micro or mini. I can't remember which one this is, and it's a gross oversight. As far as I'm concerned, USB mini is unacceptable on any device these days, and it annoys me that it's still coming up. That, though, is pretty much all the useful info online about the H8. I should also point out the bevy of options for expandability with the capsules. Basically something for everyone, especially if you want to personalize this thing for your workflow. All the older H-series capsules still work, but there are a few new 2.0 capsules as well. And probably the coolest of them all is the VR-H8 for recording 360-degree audio. That is super cool. And if you want to see more about utilizing this H8, make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss anything. Not going to give anything away. There's more ridiculous stuff on the way. Now, this is where we get back to my original statement, though. Why is this thing a ridiculous piece of gear? Well, remember what I said about H-series recorders. They're generally intended for people on the run, reporters, podcasters, or anyone trying to get street-level audio. And they are exceptionally good at their job. But this thing just tends to fall off when you bring field work into the fray. First of all, field recorders need to be portable in the extreme. If you're out grabbing streeters for 3 hours, you need the smallest gear possible. And I ask you, which one looks like it's easier to handle over the course of that job? Secondly is the build. Now, Zoom plastic is a thing, and frankly, I don't hate on Zoom for it. Their products make up for it in many ways. But even the H5 has a ruggedness to it that you can tell what it's meant for. There's a grip to it like it's meant to be carried. And any and all add-ons to the unit are seen as a bonus, not a driving factor to its use case. Need more than a few mics plugged in? Sure, you can do that too. But realistically, We all know what people are using this for. So then, why does the H8 exist if it doesn't fulfill those same needs? And this is where I think we might be seeing this product in the wrong light. Personally, I think this is the exact opposite of what the original H series was about. Again, this is an on-the-go mic that just happened to have other inputs. Well, the H8 has multiple inputs, and it just so happens to double on the go. Handy, but for a completely different reason. And when you see it in that light, that ridiculous title kind of goes away. And to gain some perspective on that, consider this. With this attachment, the EXH8, you have the ability to record 10 separate inputs with multi-track capabilities into one piece of gear. 10 inputs, multi-track, into something not much bigger than my outstretched hand, all for under $500. Find me something comparable on the market. Go ahead, I'll wait. Maybe I'll save you a bit of time. You can't. Okay, so all that aside, yes, this might be a bit more niche than a lot of gear that is on the market, and it might just be more than you will ever need. But for someone that needs this kind of versatility and can't afford to go super rich, I really love that Zoom released this product. For anyone that wanted to record in the 90s, this was only accessible for well over $1,000, or in today's money, well over $2,000. Not to mention, that was all tape back in the day. If you wanted to go reel to reel for best fidelity, well, that was an even bigger buy-in. Even for my old brain, this thing is hard to fathom. So yeah, if you want to do it all, this thing, well, it does it all. So sure, it is a really fun product, and frankly, if you were to tap into everything it did, again, you'd probably be pretty overwhelmed at the options. If you want to check it out, there's links below. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.